Hi. In this episode, we're talking about the sins of teachers and schools. Many people of faith are rightly outraged by the California firing a teacher who refused to deceive parents regarding student gender transitions. Lying to parents about anything related to their minor children is a serious sin because it's an attempt to usurp parental authority in the raising of their children. Both public and private schools have been lying to parents for a long time now. The latest examples seem more egregious because of the subject matter. Consider grade inflation, for example. This is awarding of grades that do not accurately reflect student accomplishment and mastery of the material. Is this not a lie to the parents? According to the paperwork, an A in an algebra course, for example, should represent mastery of at least 90% of the material. Grades that do not accurately represent student mastery are a lie to the parents.
Shout Jesus from the mountains, and Jesus in the streets, Jesus in the darkness over every enemy, Jesus for my family, I speak the holy name.
Usually representing overly optimistic view. Parents are thus deprived of the opportunity to recognize problems and implement corrective actions based on their goals for student learning. Grade inflation is fairly common in Christian schools, as admins often pressure or allow teachers to lie to parents by awarding grades that do not accurately represent student learning. Parents deserve the truth. Likewise, schools often fail to notify parents of significant misbehavior. Some years ago, a principal threatened to fire me, I was the teacher, for informing parents that their children were openly discussing drug use in my classes. Most schools today also fail to uniformly enforce rules against possessing pornography. Consider that anonymous surveys reveal over 80% of teen males admit to porn on their cell phones. Teachers in schools are looking the other way. Ask an admin at your children's schools how many teens have received consequences for cell phone porn in the last 12 months. Teachers and schools are closing their eyes to this. Is this not a violation of the golden rule? Wouldn't these same teachers and admins want to know if an authority in their children's lives discovered destructive behavior like drug abuse or pornography? Don't most student handbooks prohibit these things and outline disciplinary consequences? Don't parents deserve the truth about their students' behavior? It gets worse. Schools are also routinely failing to notify parents of student sexual activity at school. Students are pairing off and having sex in unoccupied areas of the school. Further, a Christian school where I served briefly as an administrator failed to tell parents of a student's admitted homosexuality, even though the handbook suggested such a serious sin would not be tolerated. Parents may reasonably delegate the task of educating their children to public or to private schools, but parents maintain primary responsibility for their children's educational and moral outcomes. Most sins of teachers and schools boil down to teachers and schools usurping parental authority through many and various means and schemes. Church, government, and family are three fundamentally separate spheres of authority, and each needs to be mindful of their boundaries relative to the others. When any one of these three spheres encroaches on a separate sphere, it represents an attempt at tyranny. Unfortunately, it has been our experience that private schools, most of which belong to the sphere of the church, often copy government schools in their encroachments on the sphere of the family. Parents need to ask some hard questions before entrusting their children to any school, public or private. And parents need to stay on top of things by daily discussing both academic and social aspects of school experiences with each of their children through high school. And noting that these sins of teachers and schools are widespread in college also, parents need to prayerfully consider whether their child's maturity is adequate to face the temptations they are likely to encounter at each of the various options that are considered for college and post-graduation.
There is room at the altar, there is room at the pew, there is room at the table, a place for me and for you. It's not about being someone else, there's healing in being true, but there is room at the cross for you.
Tell me, do you care to obey Him?
Hi. From 2016 to 2022, I've never asked for contributions and none of my platforms are monetized. I'm generally more favorable to giving to widows and orphans than to giving to preachers. The Holy Spirit has spoken to me. Jesus cares about the girls in these homes. I just completed Christian leadership training with Dr. Mark Rutland, who founded Global Servants. I've reviewed their financials, and I am impressed both with their accountability and the large proportion of contributions directly supporting their girls in Ghana and Thailand. Please visit their website, globalservants.org, and pray about giving to these girls through them.
Tell me, do you care to obey Him?